Friend. Thank you for joining us again today. As we begin this week, we're going to start a new series of lessons, and I've titled this series simply with the words, I will. I will. It's true that we are living in strange and difficult times, but if you think about it, we're also living in a time of spiritual apathy. We talk about apathy, and people ask, well, what is that? Apathy is a want of feeling, an insensitivity, or indifference. And surely we're living in a time of spiritual indifference. Now, I'm not only speaking of indifference of our faith by the world, but now there is widespread indifference within the church itself. And this is a time of spiritual insensitivity. We've been desensitized in this hour. We have lost a sense of shock and surprise, and this is a time where we have a want of feeling. We brag at times that we're not being troubled by anything or anyone, but we are not bothered by anything, but neither are we blessed by anything as well. We do what we do, someone says. The answer to the problem that we're facing is simply this. It's found in the words, I will. We cannot afford to sit around and sit back and wait to see what anyone else is going to do. It is time for us to rise up and say in these moments, I will. Now, Christian living is neither accidental nor is it incidental. The words I will are the words of an intentional Christian, an intentional dedication. The word will is defined as to determine by choice. It is a determination, a choice, a purpose, or the faculty by which we determine to do or not to do something. Now, that being true, I realize that many times every day I choose whether or not I will react to a situation after a situation in a manner that says I am a Christian. Now, in these lessons, I want to urge you and myself to ask the question, what will I do? Now, I want to begin this week looking at Acts chapter 2, verses 41 through 47, very familiar verses to those of us of the church. And the Bible says here, then they that gladly received his word were baptized, and the same day there were added unto them about 3,000 souls. And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine, and in fellowship, and breaking of bread, and in prayers. And fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles, and all that believed were together and had all things common, and sold their possessions and goods, and parted them to all men as every man had need. And they, continuing daily with one accord in the temple, and breaking bread from house to house, did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. I want you to think with me on this thought as we look at these verses this week. I will commit. I will commit. Again, there is a terrible famine that has affected this present society. There is a famine of commitment. Now, as we look at every area of our life, we realize that every wrong there is as a result of faulty commitment. There is an unwillingness in this hour to commit. If we commit somehow, we have been convinced that we then will be tied down. Much too often, we make open-ended or loose commitments today. We make commitments while looking at the easy out or the escape clause if things do not go the way that we want them. We want to say, but our attitude is we will commit if all things goes my way. Now, I will commit unless, until, or when there is a downward turn in the circumstance, and then popular ideology says, I'm out. I'm out. And so we need to realize that there is a need for commitment. I hope this week, as we look at these verses and you think about the I will, I hope that our commitment will be what it ought to be. Hope you'll think about that. Till the next time, may the Lord bless you, is my prayer.